Hello, hi, so welcome to the first session on financial wellbeing. So my name's Lorraine McFall and I'm a financial wellbeing coach and founder of Money Matters Financial Coaching, and I help my clients achieve financial wellbeing. So throughout these sessions we'll be working on how to improve your financial wellbeing. Financial wellbeing is at the core of everything that we do, and in my opinion it underpins every aspect of of well-being, and it's really important that we give it our attention it deserves to create a better and happier life. So today I'm going to give you an overview of what financial well-being is and what we'll be covering over the course of the next few weeks. The first thing I just wanted to acknowledge is that talking about money isn't something that we are quite used to. Culturally, many of us would rather talk about sex, religion, politics than share details of our personal finances. It's okay to talk about house prices or the stock market and the economy in general, but talking about your money and your financial situation is generally still considered a big no-no, but it is starting to change. Hopefully one good thing that might come from the last 12 months experience that we've all shared is that we are more willing to talk about money and to be less judgmental. Before the pandemic, financial companies were running campaigns to encourage people to start that conversation, and the concept of financial well-being is also starting to gather momentum and is something that we'll be hearing more and more of. The general message from society in the past has been that talking about money isn't something that we do, but really where has that got us? There's still almost no provision for money in the national curriculum, and even if we are taught about money, it treats money as being something cold, calculated and rational, like a maths problem, when in reality it's an incredibly emotive subject, because like it or not, money does matter. It affects everything: our lifestyle, our relationships, our happiness, and most importantly, our peace of mind. An exercise that I like to do with clients is I ask them to imagine if you were to open the front door and money had came for tea, money was coming into your house and was going to be your guest, what would it look like and how would you feel about it coming into your home? And that's a really simple exercise that immediately helps people to think about how they feel about money. Some people are delighted to see it and welcome it in. To others, it's there and it's something that just creates feelings of fear. They feel afraid, they feel nervous, they don't know quite what to do. So it might be something you might want to think about is how would you feel about money if it were to come for tea? So this culture of not talking about money has historically not served us well. Before the pandemic, more than 2/3 of the population said that money worries were affecting their own mental health or that of people who were close to them. And these figures will be dwarfed as the financial impact of the pandemic is realised. Before the pandemic, almost half of employers were starting to offer financial wellbeing programmes, and some of you might have experienced them, which is all great news and a step in the right direction, because a survey by Lloyd showed that more than 61% of people felt better when they opened up and talked about the money concerns. So it is really important that we do increase this dialogue. So what is financial wellbeing? Well, it's an expression that has gathered momentum, is becoming more common in the last few years. Some financial companies are using it to sell their products and things, but at the core of it, there's not one concrete definition, but there's a sort of a shared themes, and I'm going to share with you ones that's used by the American Consumer Bureau. And it's got 4 different elements, and in a nutshell, they define financial well-being as having control over your day-to-day finances, having the capacity to absorb any financial shocks, financial freedom to make choices, and having financial goals and a plan. In summary, financial well-being is about giving people a greater sense of confidence and control over their money through good times and bad. And I think we've all seen this year how when things go badly, it's so important that you do have that confidence and you feel capable of weathering any storms that come your way. One thing that's really important to pick up from that definition is that someone can experience financial well-being regardless of their level of income, and it's really important that you take that point on board. Often people assume that you can only have money worries if you're on a low income or benefits and have lots of debt. But the reality is that even when you're on a good salary and it looks as if you are winning at life, you can still suffer from a lack of financial well-being. It might be that everything's ticking over nicely. To outside, as I say, people looks like you're winning at life. Your social media post is amazing. You've got nice house, nice cars, nice holidays. But the reality is that you could be one step away from financial disaster. Sadly, a situation many people have found themselves in this year. And on top of that, you have the worry, a sort of nagging doubt there, that because we don't talk about money, you don't get the chance to share those concerns with people. And there's always that feeling of shame that you should be doing better. You've been given opportunities and you should be doing better. You shouldn't be feeling this way. And especially because you don't need to look too far to see people in our communities who are suffering from real financial hardship. Most of my clients are successful professional women and entrepreneurs who are earning good levels of have a good level of income, but they're spending it just as fast as it's coming in, and often it's on things to treat themselves because, quite frankly, they're so knackered from working and juggling work, life and family. The expression I hear time and time again from my clients is, I feel guilty, I should be doing more with my money. So regardless of your level of income, financial well-being is important. It's about feeling happy and confident with and in control of your financial situation. So what do I do with my clients? So as I say, I'm a financial wellbeing coach and I work with clients one-to-one and in groups to help them achieve financial wellbeing. And that means I coach them to help them improve their awareness about money and to help them set and achieve goals. I help them to take the steps they need to get there, and if appropriate, help them improve the way they behave about money and the habits that they have. And it's also a bit of mentoring clients, and that's teaching clients what they need to know about the financial world. Often, especially professional people, when you're really successful in your area of business, but they can be a bit embarrassed because actually the whole area of personal finance is a bit of a mystery to them. So I can fill in gaps in their knowledge and teach them the skills that will help them develop their financial capability and skills with money. So to help my clients achieve financial well-being, I help them work on their money mindset, help them identify and understand elements from the past that affects their behaviours today and the habits they have with money. I help them articulate what their financial goals are and really help them get specific about how they're going to achieve them and the action they need to take. And also I help them just to deal with their money management strategies. Having a good money management strategy and structure in place helps clients develop better habits, and that in turn helps them achieve their goals, and it leaves less space for those mind gremlins to take over. And I believe that if you work on all three of those areas at the same time, then you'll achieve financial well-being and the peace of mind that brings. So these are the three topics that I'll be focusing the talks on over the next few weeks to help you to achieve financial well-being. And I thought it might be useful today just to give you a brief summary and a bit of a taster for what's coming. So one of the first things we're working on is your money mindset. And we'll be looking at, so what is money mindset? What is it and how does that affect our financial well-being? So adopting the correct money mindset is about becoming aware of the stories and the language that you use round about money. How often do you hear people say, I'm rubbish with money, or other disempowering statements? It almost feels like actually, in a way, admitting you're rubbish with money is one of those things that it's okay to say, like I'm rubbish at maths. But it's having those statements does not help us. So it's about becoming aware of what those self-limiting beliefs are, what that negative language is that we use, and changing them. And I'll be sharing some tools and techniques to help you improve your emotional relationship with money. So maybe I thought it might be useful if I shared an example of some work I did with one of my clients. She was really anxious when she came to visit me the first time, and after the first session she said, I'm so relieved, I thought you were going to tell me to sell my house. So Alice, she was working, she was in her late 30s, earning about £40,000 a year. She was single and had a small amount of credit card debt, but she was constantly worried about money. She recorded every penny she spent for the first couple of weeks of the month. then she would worry that she would run out of money. So then she would start sticking things on her credit card with the intention to pay it off at the end of the month. But of course, when the end of the month came, she never had quite enough money to pay it off. And she was just in this constant cycle of worry, sod it, I'm just going to spend what I have, and then just being back into that, I haven't got enough money to pay off the debt, and back and start worrying again. So it's just a really negative cycle. So I asked Alice to reflect on some of her memories she had growing up round about money, and she identified one situation where when she was about 10, her mum sent her to the shops to get some call it Scotland messages, but to get some groceries. She didn't return the change. Her mum didn't ask her, and Alice assumed that was hers to keep. That was her tip for going. She spent the money on a bag of chips for her and her friends back in the days when chips were 25p a bag. When her mum asked for the change and found out that she had spent the money, her mum was furious. And in front of Alice's friend, she said, "You cannot be trusted with money." And this was the message that Alice had taken on board and had become her mantra over the years. So we unpicked it and we looked at it from a different perspective. So was it true that as a 10-year-old, Alice had failed to demonstrate a good financial acumen? Or was it maybe the case that Alice bore the brunt of her mother's frustration because she hadn't given the child clear instructions, and maybe she had been relying on that money? We don't know what their financial situation was at the time. We've all had those experiences or moments when we've not displayed perhaps our best parenting skills, and this was a prime example of that. Alice's mum had perhaps blamed her for her mistake because she hadn't been more specific. So Alice and I then explored how this belief that she couldn't be trusted with money had affected her over the years, and whether this took her closer to feeling in control of her finances or further away. We then explored what would it feel like if she told herself a different truth, that she could be trusted with money, and how would that feel then? Fast forward to our next session, and Alice's outlook had completely changed. Physically, she looked better. She no longer looked worried down by money. She still had a debt, but she had a plan to reduce it. And more importantly, she knows that she can, and she is solving her money issues. Because that mantra that she cannot be trusted with money, she realises that was just a story that she told herself. There was no basis of truth in it. And not having that replaying in her head all the time gave her the freedom to actually take action and to do things which did help her to get better with money and take more control. So we'll cover this in more details in some of the workshops that are coming up, but you might want to start thinking in the meantime about what were some of the money messages that you've been given over the years. Unfortunately, the experiences that we have as money as a child, the lessons we've learned from our parents, that dictates how we behave about money. So it's a bit of a lottery as to whether our parents set us good examples. Also something for us to think about as parents with our children and what we do. So you might want to think about any money memories you've had, and also maybe just think about the language that you do use round about money. So Alice's favourite statement was, "You cannot be trusted with money." And it was almost as if when she said that, that gave her licence then just to let go and do whatever she wanted. So think about some of the language that you use, because what you say out loud reflects what you think and what you feel about it. The language you use is a habit, and so are these negative self-beliefs that you might have. So start changing your beliefs, the language that you use about money. So you might want to become aware or think of, or just now, of the 5 languages or 5 expressions that you use that were your go-to expressions. And maybe just sort of think, well, actually, what would be the opposite if I was to say something different? You know, I'm rubbish with money. You could say, I'm not good with money yet, you know, for example. Just try and turn it around and to reframe it a bit. So whenever you do hear yourself using these negative statements, just really shut yourself down. Stop and say, actually, is this true? We can be incredibly mean to ourselves, and we'll say things to ourselves that we would never say to anybody else. So if you find yourself in that situation, just stop and change your language. So we'll work on our money mindset, but also we've got to work on our financial goals and setting those goals. So I'll help you to just articulate what your goals are. It's really easy to have vague notions about what you want to achieve financially, but unless you really identify what you want and what you need to do today to achieve that, it's always going to be a vague dream. So if you were committed to improving your relationship with money, then you've got to arrange your life and have a support structure in a place in a way that will pull you towards achieving your financial goals with the least effort and with the maximum persistence. Once you identify your goals, you can work on a wealth plan, and that will help bring you clarity and consistency in your actions, so you know the tasks that you have to take to accomplish each week and to achieve your goals. The wealth plan is essential because without that, you're just like a rudderless ship. But with a plan, you're going to make consistent progress towards your goals. So commitment to financial freedom is next to worthless without a plan to achieve that goal. A plan will focus all your decisions and act towards the desired end result. Financial freedom and achieving your financial goals has got nothing to do with how much money you earn. It's just all about your commitment to the plan. So I'm going to help you to articulate what your goals are. And there's lots of different ways you can go about doing it, and how you do it doesn't really matter. What is important is that you do. But I'll help share some exercises that will help you identify your goals, and help you just work out what are the top goals that you want to focus on. We'll help you identify what your life and what are your financial goals, and also sort of challenge you to think about what are the obstacles to helping you achieve them. Are those obstacles things that are internal within you that you need to work on, like your mindset, or are they external obstacles? Where can you help? Where can you seek help from to help you achieve those goals? I'll also help you to make sure that you are so clear and have such a clear view or vision of what your goals are, and so clear about the steps that you need to take, that you're in a position that your goals are really exciting, tangible, they're part of your life just now. They're not just this airy-fairy idea of something that you might want to achieve in the future. You're almost going to be able to taste them. They're going to be so vivid and real to you. And it means that when temptations do come your way, it gives you a bit more strength to help you resist that, because you can almost see, touch and feel those goals. And that's what you really, really want to achieve in life. So your goals are all looking towards the longer term, and they are really exciting. But in today's day and age, we're all used to instant gratification. And I've got a suggestion for some ways that you can make a more immediate start and feel as if you are sort of living that dream now. I always recommend to clients a book called Get Rich Lucky Bitch by Denise Duffield Thomas, and it's quite an easy pick up, put down book all about money mindset. And one exercise that she suggests is that rather than just focus on the long-term goals as well as doing that, you maybe just look at your own environment and think about things that you could improve immediately that would help you feel about being the type of woman or type of person that you want to be. So if you, on your vision board, you see yourself as a successful woman with lots of beautiful clothes, for example, then you might want to do a bit of a Marie Kondo and go through your wardrobe, discarding things that don't bring you joy, and start a programme of replacing items. So look at every item in your life and decide, is it something economy class and you just something that you tolerate, or is there something that's first class that brings you real joy? And just start a small programme of upgrading those items that aren't first class and that you no longer want to tolerate. So for example, I love interior design. I wouldn't buy designer clothes, but I love interiors, and I would maybe buy a designer cushion, and that would make me feel that I was being more successful, rather than just sort of tolerating with what's been latest on special from the supermarket perhaps. So I would really suggest a bit of Christmas reading for you to get in the right sort of mind frames to read that book and just look about and think about what can you upgrade just now that's going to make you feel a bit better about things. So we'll work on your mindset, we'll work on your goals, so you've got a plan that you're working towards. And then the final part of the jigsaw is working on your money management skills, and it's about helping you to develop better habits. Once you've got a good structure in place, then that's going to help you achieve your goals. Because rather than spending time on the day-to-day minutiae of managing money, any time you spend on money will be more strategic time that you're spending on how do you achieve your goals and get the right mindset. So working on your money management skills means that you've got to get to know your numbers. That's the bit that some people just really don't like. They find it painful, they find it scary, they would rather put pins in their eyes than actually sit down and face up to what is their financial situation just now. But knowledge is power. Talking about your numbers might not get you excited, and it might make you feel a bit anxious or scared, but knowing your numbers is an essential first step to getting clarity on your financial situation and to help you organise your money, manage your money in a better way, and use this information as a basis of your financial plan. If you're not financially prepared to roll with the punches, you're going to constantly be living in that scarcity mode, and you'll have that survival mindset and negative emotions that leave you less able to think and plan and act creatively. And that leads to what I would call the sod-it moments. It's when you know that maybe you shouldn't be doing something, you shouldn't be buying that coat, booking that holiday, going out for that meal, whatever it might be, but you think, oh, sod it, I'll start again tomorrow. If you have got a good structure in place, if you've got clear goals in your mind that are really vivid and real to you, it will avoid those sod-it moments that just knock you off plan. So it's really important that you're good at managing your money, and this means knowing how to organise your money, save money, and generally follow good money habits. And the good news is that it's never been easier than to manage your finances. We have got so much information there, banking apps, budgeting apps, everything that helps us really easily create a structure that allows us to develop good habits. You think of the old days when it was a case of waiting once a month for your bank statement and going through your checkbook and reconciling it. We've got all that information there, and I'll share with you the best ones for you to use. As I said, the aim is to help you to develop good habits so that you've got the time to work on the important stuff, which is your goals and your mindset. Because when you set aside time to do your money, you want to be focusing on your goals and your mindset where you'll get most benefit, not from sitting down with a list of bills to pay because you haven't set up direct debits, for example. Having good money management skills and a good structure in place lets you concentrate on the more strategic things like goal setting and mindset, and that's where you'll start to see transformational change in your relationship with money and what you do achieve. So I'll be sharing with you some practical tips about how I help my clients manage their money and how also to help you manage your money in relationships, because if you've got one relationship with money, if your partner will have a relationship with money too. And in the first days of a romance, we very rarely talk about it. So that can sometimes lead to quite a bit of tension when you're both coming at it with your own money story and your own habits and things. So we'll share some tips about how you can manage money better in the relationship. So that's giving you an idea of the 3 subject areas that we're going to be covering in a series of talks. I hope it's given you an oversight of how I can help you achieve financial well-being. And I hope I've shared enough for you to recognise that achieving financial well-being is a good thing and given you some ideas about how you can do that. Before we finish today, I just wanted to take a moment to help you think about what does financial well-being mean to you. If you were to draw a scale today between 1 and 10 with financial well-being at one end, 0 at the other, where would you say you are today? And then take a moment and just to think, okay, 12 months from now, as we come to the end of 2021, which has been such an amazing year after the horror of 2020, imagine it's 12 months from now and you're looking back on this year, because this is a year that you really took the time to get on top of your finances and to make financial well-being your priority. Think about what has happened, what's changed, what do you see, what do you hear, what do you feel, what do others notice about you, what do your family notice a change about you, what have you achieved and how does that feel? Why does achieving financial well-being, what will achieving financial well-being, why will it be good for you? So take some time just to think about that and think about where you could be in 12 months' time, and look at that scale that you've drawn today and think about where do you want to be in 12 months' time. Then I would ask you to just look at the scale as well and think about what can you commit to today to moving along that scale, what tiny steps can you take, and also what can you do to remind yourself that financial well-being is now your priority, what can you commit to doing. So take some time just now to think about those things. Think about what you can do as the next step. And one tiny step might be to join us for the next talk, but we'll start to talk about how you can achieve financial well-being. I'll be sharing with you some practical tips and exercises to help you achieve that. So thanks for coming today, and hope to see you again at the next talk. Thank you. Bye-bye.